Good morning. Welcome to Enduro 360. I'm your host, Chili White, and I thought we'd do a quick one today. I just gotten back from a multi-day trip, and actually I'm repacking to go on another one. And one of the questions I get asked pretty often is, what do I have in my fanny pack? Actually, for dual sport trail riding, I wear both a fanny pack and a backpack. So, being as I've got to repack them anyway, let's take everything out. I'll show you what I carry with me. Because actually I can think of one thing right now that I'm missing out of there, and by the time we get done I might think of a couple other things. Got the GoPro chest mount on here. We'll see how this works so I can keep my hands free for working. Now, I've spent years coming up with a system of exactly what I carry and why. And the amazing thing is I can never find a consensus among anybody that would agree with exactly what I do. Everybody seems to have their own ideas. Now, for the fanny pack, the first thing is this is my own kind of custom design made fanny pack. I had a bunch of these made years ago. And I always wear a fanny pack. Now, because I race and trail ride, I only want one setup. I'm not going to change what's in here for a race versus a trail ride. So all of the extra equipment goes into the backpack. But let's take a look at this real quick. So this design, this is kind of a copy of an old Hebo gas. Some of it's taken from a Cherubi's design. Nothing's really completely new here. So I've got this little pocket on the outside. Two things in here, things I want to get to. A little Terry cable T-handle. These are available from a couple of different places, but the Terry cable one has the best quality sockets on it. And then I have this little, it's called a jet wrench. This is available a lot of places. But it's got a 6mm in there, so it'll take a main jet out, and then you've got a little double-ended screwdriver. Got those so I can actually get into them without even taking my fanny pack off. In the next little pocket here is zip ties and baling wire. There's actually a whole bunch of them stuffed in there. They're kind of tucked away, so I never have to worry about them when I don't need them. Okay, so main pocket. First of all, we have a Leatherman tool. This is a cheapo one. I used to have a really good Gerber one. It broke a while back, so I'm getting a new one. This is the cheesy Lowe's brand. But, you know, the one thing about it is it's got a lot of different things. That way I've got some needle nose with me at all the time. I've got the knife, I've got the screwdriver, I've got the little file. All those things, you never know when you're going to need them. To go along with our socket T-handle, I have the Allen hex key T-handle. Again, this is the Terry cable one. Particularly for European bike guys, this has got everything you need on it. The only thing I don't have in here are the newer Torx style bits for newer KTM bikes. Small vice grips. Again, those you can use those for so many different things. And the KTM multi-tool. The older ones of these used to be kind of cheesy and they'd bend, but this new cast one seems to be pretty strong and works out well. And our little rollaway pouch, let's see, what do we got? Vice grips. Again, these little vice grips are good because you can do an axle nut with them if you have to. They got a lot of biting power, so between these three items, I should be able to clamp onto just about anything I could possibly need. Combination wrenches, these are the little open-end ones, so I've got a 10-13 and then an 8-10 that will handle pretty much anything you need to get a hold of on KTM. This is a funny little wrench that, again, I bought years and years ago. It's good for almost nothing, but on the other hand, you never know exactly when it's going to be just the right tool to have. It's got a 17 in there that'll do the bottom of some style carbs. It's got 14 that'll do the bottom of other style carbs if you need to drain the float bowl. There's a 12 here, which I almost never use, a 13 and 8. Tiny screwdriver, another tiny blade, and a 10. I don't know. I've carried this thing for years. It's almost like a good luck charm. And what else? Oh, master links. So because I ride with lots of different people, I actually carry a selection of master links in here. I always try to have like one DID, one Regina, and that will handle, again, almost all the OEM KTM ones and anything else. What I don't have in here right now is a spark plug. Riding 4-strokes, honestly, in 10 years riding 4-strokes, I think I've used a spark plug once, and it wasn't on my own motorcycle. Always carry an extra nut and axle block for a KTM. These things break. I've lost them numerous times, and you can, if you break the fixed side on a KTM axle, you can take these and cheat those onto so it basically matches the nut and spacer block on the other side. So I always carry one of those with me. Actually, I had to use one of those in the 6 days once, so saved my bacon. And that's it for the basic tools. In my fanny pack here, I have a big pouch. That's typically where I carry my camera in. Over here, I've got the little pouch. I carry a handkerchief in there, or Cliff Bar, whatever. You got a couple little hideaway pouches in there. I always keep a little cash in there. And that's it. That's my fanny pack. I think it's a pretty good setup. Very, very seldom have I ever been caught anywhere out on the trail where I didn't have what I needed there. For example, I broke a chain one time in the middle of a race, and I was actually able to use the file on my Gerber, quite a bit better quality than this one, to file the tops of the pins off, and then I used this and a rock to actually punch the pins out, and was able to put a master link on it and keep going. Okay, so that's it for the fanny pack. Let me put that back together, and we'll take a look at the backpack. Okay, for the backpack, as you can see, this is the Climb Crew Pack, and it was primarily designed as like a snowmobile unit, but I've adapted it pretty well. It's got some nice pockets in the way it's laid out. So let's start right into the big main pocket. Now, been backpacking on this trip, so I got my shoes with me. My Climb Revolt pullover. This thing never comes out. It's so nice just to have one extra layer in there all the time, just in case you decide you need it. And then I've got these little mesh bags. I have a lot of stuff in here. I got dirty clothes. Okay, so this would be the bulk of the tools. More zip ties. I got some cut inner tube rubber bands. Those things are, you never know when those are going to come in handy. Shift lever, spark plug. Here are my tire changing tools. I use 2 tire irons. I use the Motion Pro. I use the big flat spoon. And then this is just more of a generic one. I love the flat angle on the spoon for taking the tire off. That's a great thing for getting the bead off. For going back on, I like this little hook design a little bit better. And what I like about it is it doesn't slide too far inside the rim. It'll hook right there on the edge of the rim, and that really lessens your chance of pinching the tube. I typically grind this edge off just a little bit to make it a little smoother. Again, all in hopes of not pinching the inner tube. And then I keep it in a old rag so I can actually lay the rag on the ground, lay the wheel on the rag. And then I have, let's see what we got in the magic bags here. Some of this stuff I haven't looked at for a while. Okay, so I have a tow rope. Well, this is actually the bag for a cool MSR tow rope. I lent that to somebody and it disappeared. So I literally just have a length of rope in there. I should get that and replace it with the cool tow rope, but actually this works just fine. And because it's regular rope, I can cut it up, use it for something else if I need to. Lighter, I never go anywhere without a lighter. I don't really carry any fire starter because I got fuel and gas on the bike if I needed them. And I would actually probably, if I really had to build a fire on the trail and needed some fire starter, I would use a little bit of oil out of the crankcase instead of using gas, because the oil is a little less flammable and it burns longer. So I got sunscreen. I got one set of extra. See, those are AAA batteries for the spot tracker. I got some fuel line. I got some tissue. I got a set of glasses. Guess I should go through and rearrange that. And over here is where all the rest of the spares are. Oh, I've got another shift lever, so I'm carrying 2 shift levers with me. I think I got a 2-stroke one and a 4-stroke one there. Yeah, maybe they're both 4 strokes. Guess I could empty that out. There's another spark plug and a spark plug wrench. JB Quick Steel. Don't go anywhere without that stuff. Man, I use that stuff actually all the time. There's a set of old levers. Those will go right on any KTM, no problem. Valve stem remover. What have I got in here for tape? I got some strapping tape. I got some Gorilla tape. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think these are the silicone tapes that will, once they heat up, will melt themselves to anything. And I need to find, I've started carrying some fuses because all our new fuel injected bikes are definitely fuse dependent. I need to find a cool little holder to hold those in. And I used to have a pretty decent military first aid kit, blowout kit in there. I've used part of that up, so all I got in there is a piece of gauze. I probably should put something else in there for a little bit of a first aid kit. Okay, so that's all the main spares and supplies. What else have we got? I have my turtle fur neck warmer. Don't want to go anywhere in the wintertime with that. As well as my spare pair of warm gloves. I always have a dry pair of gloves in the wintertime. Got my GPS that goes right onto the ram mount I've got on the bike where the mirror sits right now. I've got a Thermacare pack to keep myself warm if I get too cold. There is my Baja map. I always actually carry a full atlas. You know, the GPS is great, but there's so many times you really need the map just to have a bigger view, understanding of where you're at. A lot of times I wear a colored lens, so I carry a clear spare in the pack at all times. That way if I get caught out at night, it's not too bad. Ooh, there's some more hand warmers. I should put all those together. I've got an LED cheapo flashlight in here, but it's one of those that actually puts out a fair bit of power. Got it covered up so it didn't get beat up too bad. And what else? A notebook and pen in case I need to write somebody a note or leave a note somewhere. Okay, that takes care of that one. And this funny thing, what have I got? Hat. You know, in the summertime, I never want to get stuck out in the desert without a hat to put on. It's some earplugs. This is kind of just a big stow-all pack right here. And then the very outside one here, this is kind of my food and stuff. Again, I got lots of garbage because we're just coming off of a ride. So I should get that thing all cleaned out. So what have I got? I got a Kate's bar. I got some hammer gel. I've got some more gel in there. Some antacid and some Advil. Gum. You never know when you want some gum out on the trail. And a few other miscellaneous bars. That takes care of that one. Over here, I've got some goggle cleaner. Over here, I probably have another thing of sunscreen. And I always carry a couple of bandanas. You never know what a bandana is going to come in handy for. So, carry two of them. One for clean goggles and one as a spare. And then the coolest thing on my pack over here, because this is a snowmobile product, this is designed for a takedown shovel. To stow in this little part, but that's where I keep my air pump. I never want to run out of air, so I got an endless supply here and a nice inexpensive mountain bike pump. It's lightweight and it stows right down in there perfect. So now that I've made a complete mess, I need to rearrange all of that to get ready to leave for another trip down to Baja, do some trail scouting tomorrow. So, but there you go. That is all of the stuff. Man, it looks like a lot of stuff now that I got it out here. But hopefully I will have everything I could possibly need out on the trail. Now, one last note. If you really want to carry less stuff on your motorcycle while you're trail riding, the absolute most important thing you can do is start with a well-prepared motorcycle. 50% of everything we ever have to do to bikes on the trail, it's really something maintenance-wise that should have been handled before we left the shop. So make sure your bike's prepared. Okay, that's it. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.